Today we're going to be checking out the brand new Rabanne Million Gold. Yeah, so I mean, this year is full of changes, right? You know, we're getting a whole bunch of elixirs. We're getting water-based fragrances. Not that that's something, you know, unheard of. It's been done a time or two, although there's a reason why that's not done all that often. But the first one from a major brand like Christian Dior, right? And then the other change that's been going on is Rabanne, you know, formerly known as Paco Rabanne. Now it's just Rabanne. And formerly known as 1 million, I guess now it's just million. You know, I can kind of see what they're doing, although, I don't know. You know, if you're trying to get away from the 1 million line, get away from it entirely. You guys have the money and the funds to branch off and start something new. I think it's just they simplified the brand name, so they're going to simplify the line name, I guess. But it just doesn't sound the same. Million Gold. You know, I don't know. Now, you know, we had a Golden Oud released as the latest one, and now we got this one. So I'm excited to try it out. Really, I am. Sounds like I'm hating. I promise I'm not. I like Paco Rabanne. I like Invictus Victory Elixir. The new Invictus Aqua 2024. Phenomenal. Bringing back that OG. They did a great job there. And I brought that up in that video as well. You know, on the bottle it just said Rabanne. So they kind of have had that in the works, you know, for releases as of this year. And also it's important to note that there used to be a 1 million gold. And I think it was called 1 million absolutely gold. Okay, that was years and years ago and it got discontinued. So, you know, here we are with the new one. Love the bottle. Nice and simple on the front. I love the little hinge looking guy there. It doesn't actually move, but looks like it would. Again, it's simplistic, but I like it. And this is the cleanest this bottle will ever be too. It's completely shiny, but man, these collect fingerprints like I collect fragrances. Okay, let's go ahead and get this one on. I'm excited and, you know, a little bit skeptical too. So, yeah, getting a fruity, kind of orangey sweetness, kind of a bright sweetness, you know, like in typical fruit fashion in a scent. It kind of gives it that sweet, kind of edible smell. I'm getting some of that going on. I'm getting a dark, kind of like a chocolatey, patchouli, woody undertone as well, kind of right underneath that orange opening. Which is kind of bumping up the sweetness here. And definitely doubling down on the woods for sure. I can definitely see this one going in that direction. Sandal, a cedar wood, maybe even a slight ebony wood in here with quite a bit of patchouli. Little bit of a tonka dustiness, not a ton, but it is there. And then, I don't know, a little bit of a fresher type of smell is starting to work its way in there, just right off that opening. I'm just spitballing here as I'm experiencing this for the first time with you guys. It does have a little bit of a kick off the opening, but not too much. So, you know, maybe some sort of pepper going on, not quite a cardamom. It's not that sweet smelling, not like sweet spicy, but almost more of like a fresh spicy. And maybe that's kind of where some of that freshness is coming from. Let's take a look at the note breakdown. It doesn't look like it's going to be all that informative. We've got spices, orange, cedarwood, and sandalwood. Again, not that I expected much, right? This is just kind of how it goes these days as far as note breakdowns are concerned. I don't know, low effort there. And I don't think it's due to effort. I think that's just kind of what they want to do for marketing. Fair enough. And so kind of, you know, definitely on par with what I'm smelling here, the mandarin orange off the top. I do get that, which is just a pretty common note, but when used right, it smells great. Cedarwood, sandalwood, picking up on those, and spices. You know, so like they don't have patchouli, they don't have any other type of wood or tonka bean or anything else listed off, right? But I do kind of get those. As it's settling down more, it's getting a bit more creamy, a bit more sweet, and a bit more smooth. I feel like the spicy note that we're picking up on is already starting to kind of wear off, and it's letting everything else kind of come to the surface. Somewhere way in the back, I get a little bit of a floral smell, just a little bit, almost like a little white floral, kind of like what is used in 1 million Parfum. Now, that's the main reason I don't like 1 million Parfum. I'm pretty picky when it comes to florals, you know, hit or miss, you know. Amouage Reflection Man, hit, right? Phenomenal. I love how it's done. 1 Million Parfum, a bit too much for me personally. It's not a bad scent. It just doesn't work well for me. But it's that type of white floral in 1 Million Parfum that I'm kind of getting just a hint of in here. And I can live with that, you know, as long as it stays relatively mild like it is right now, you know, that's not a problem for me. I like that variety. But when it's a bit too strong and it's at the forefront, depending on how it's done, I'm not always the biggest fan. And so, like I said, opened up pretty sweet and creamy from the orange. After a little bit, got some spices starting to kick through. The spices were kind of backing off. And now, as I'm smelling it again, kind of freshening up even a little bit more now. It's kind of all over the place. Starts off kind of creamy and sweet. Spices kick in, they go away, it sweetens up, and now it's kind of freshening up again, a little bit odd. But yeah, I think that slight floral note is definitely coming through just a little bit more, maybe even a bit of musk in here too. I'm getting some, but not a ton. So let's look at the accords out of curiosity here. So we've got woody, warm spicy, citrus, and powdery, okay? And when we look at the compared to, we have Santal 33, which is not really the best comparison in my opinion. There's some sandalwood in here, you pick up on it, not all that strong necessarily, but you know, guilt by association, I guess it could be somewhat in the same ballpark. We've got, Mind Games, which I haven't smelled any of those. Killian, what is this? Killian Sacred Wood Anniversary Edition. Pretty specific. I have the original Sacred Wood, which was an absolute bear to get. And I love it. And for those who don't know, it's a sandalwood scent. Sandalwood and milk, interestingly enough. Same deal. Maybe a little bit of that, but not a ton. But this, I will say, does have a nice creamy sandalwood, but there's a lot more going on than just sandalwood. Let's see what else we have. Honestly, guys, a lot of stuff that I just haven't smelled. Looks like we got some sort of Byredo, Russell Westbrook. No idea. Yeah. Oh, the new Golden Edition, Born in Roma. Haven't smelled that. Haven't had a way to get that one yet. I'm really looking forward to trying that, though, so can't speak to that. Palo Santo by Carner Barcelona. Another pretty popular niche sandalwood. And again, a little, maybe, but maybe a bit of a stretch too. I think people are just thinking of and pointing at whatever sandalwood fragrance they can muster up and then just, yeah, it smells like it. And we're kind of right to where I was last when I was describing this one. A little bit of a floral component, fresh, slightly, a little bit of a creaminess from the orange, and then just this nice cedar wood type of dry down. Now, I will say, when I was describing almost like a patchouli, borderline chocolatey sweetness off that opening, that's gone. So I don't know where that went, but we're not getting that anymore. Kind of disappointed, actually. I love patchouli. There's plenty of fragrances out there that kind of come across that way, but I was hoping that would kind of stick around because I do like that. So it looks like this one's going to be primarily sandalwood driven with a bit of a fresh muskiness. It's kind of where I'm seeing it right now because it hasn't budged too much so far. Obviously, time will tell as it dries down for another several hours, but that's kind of where it's at right now. Yet another release that is just, it's fine, but it's not overly exciting either. I think, you know, I would probably take 1 Million Royal over this. I know I would take 1 Million Lucky over this. I would take this over 1 Million Parfum. 1 Million Elixir, I would probably choose that one over this too right now. And I would also take 1 Million Gold Nude over this too. And I'm not saying that this is bad. You know, when I pick everything else over this, really, a lot of those 1 millions, they're pretty close together for me. I'm not the biggest fan of really any 1 million in particular anymore, ever since they got rid of 1 Million Privé, which was by far the best. So like I said, I would say right now, 1 Million Lucky is probably my top dog. It's one that I really respect and I enjoy a lot. After that, a lot of them are pretty close. You know, one day one might pop over the other, just depending on my mood. But a lot of these just don't really change things up a ton. And so that's kind of where I'm seeing this one right now. You know, retail price, it's expensive. I don't even remember what I paid for it, but it is available now on Macy's, Sephora, Ulta, probably Saks, all those major ones. I know it wasn't cheap, but you know, I wouldn't pay retail for it again. This is an Eau de Parfum Intense, and it is kind of oily. This is probably never going to show. It's always hard to get this on camera. You can see an oil going on there versus, that looks oily too, but it's not. I don't know, it leaves a little bit of a film. You can, you know, if you've ever worn any Parfum concentrated scents, they're kind of a little bit thick sometimes. This one is, even though it's an EDP Intense. So maybe the saving grace will be performance. We'll have to see. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't hate it by any means. I don't think it's horrible. But with how retail prices are these days, that's a no-go. At some point, it'll be on discounters for under $100. I would like to see it, you know, well under $100, but who knows what's going to happen. And that might be a different story. Alrighty, guys, the new Million Gold. Let me know what you think down below if you want to try this one or not. That's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.